Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of June 13th to the 19th of 2022. All right, so this week we have essentially a full moon and it will be on Tuesday. So right at the beginning of the week, it is good to do that status check with the full moon. It is the halfway point of the lunar month, which is great to see how things are going, maybe making some shifts and adjustments to further the energy. This could of course also be the harvest and all in all just an illumination phase of the cycle. Now in Ophiuchus, it is going to be about perhaps bringing some deep stuff to the surface. Ophiuchus is the healer, so maybe matters around healing, personal empowerment, transformation. As we come off of that, then we start to have some of these other aspects. On Wednesday, Mars will go over Chiron, the comet of healing. So maybe some healing with our assertiveness or confidence or where we're putting our action and energy, which can be quite therapeutic and suggesting perhaps a new beginning with that. Then around Thursday, Venus will be going into where she is in domicile in Taurus, where she likes to be, which is enjoying more of maybe the nature, the good meals, more of the steady, grounded elements of life. But with this full moon and really concentrated on Thursday as well, the sun is going to be squaring up to watery Neptune, which can, collectively make us a bit maybe escaping or wanting to hide away, or apathy. It can be a little lost at sea. So it's very important to turn inward and connect to our soul and do the things that are important to us on a soul level, as it does guide that watery energy. We do have the support with Saturn with that as well, trining and supporting that with maybe some responsibilities or discipline. All right, and then around Saturday, we do have Venus then squaring Saturn. So maybe in those relationships, it could be good for maybe some responsibility and patience there. And a sextile to Neptune, maybe a bit of an opening for more willingness to go with the flow and have receptivity. All right, so let's go and take a look at all this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, June 13th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology, which unfortunately does not use the visible sky and also does not include Ophiuchus. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out the link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so let's just do a quick recap to see where everything is coming into the week. We still have the Sun and Mercury in grounded Taurus. So the larger context is still good for connecting to our inner resources. This is really the time of the year to connect to our inner resources, inner strength, self-reliance, take things slowly and steadily, and stop to smell the roses. Also enjoying the abundances of life as well. Could be thinking this way and focused this way with the Sun and Mercury here. Now Venus is going to be finishing Aries this week. She'll be shifting into Taurus around Thursday. So the first half still good for enjoying a bit of the more active or direct or assertive energy in life and in those relationships as well. And Mars will still be in watery Pisces for the coming couple weeks. And so it is good to still be receptive to where we're taking our action, right? So the energy levels, collectively, it's very important to channel them into things that are more soul-fulfilling, more spiritual, more creative, more rest, more of a step back sometimes. Mars is the planet of fire and action and assertion, but watery Pisces is very much like the Neptune we'll be talking a lot today about, which is having to float a bit. It's the oceans of life and of course the spiritual dimensions as well. All right, so that's where everything is coming into the week. Now, the most important event of the week, I would say, is the full moon, which is starting right at the beginning. So on Monday, as we do approach that full moon, the moon will be in Scorpio, the sign before healing Ophiuchus. And so in this case, Monday, really Tuesday and Wednesday, this whole early part of the week really is about excavating the deeper world, bringing deep things to the surface and being aware of them. But the full moon in Ophiuchus specifically is about typically healing. Now, this can, of course, be physical healing, which makes it a great full moon for making any shifts and changes to our life that would lead to more health and well-being and, of course, personal development and things like this, but maybe some physical healing, but also psychological. It's a great time to be aware of any wounds, traumas, inhibitions, fears, things that we can become aware of ourselves and in this way really accept. Now, of course, I will make a separate video on Ophiuchus going into this in detail, but fundamentally Ophiuchus is about acceptance, accepting the deeper dimensions of ourselves and of life, and in this way we go through a very healing and transformative process. So the full moon will be squaring up to that Neptune and sextiling Saturn, so pretty much all week, and again, mainly on Thursday once the sun goes to those exact aspects. It is a very important week to be receptive healthfully, right? The square to Neptune might be, again, us feeling a bit lost at sea, collectively speaking, but this is a very constructive time. The squares are the times that things get built and action is taken to really integrate things and develop things in our life. And with Neptune, it could be spirituality, it could be creativity, it could be more acceptance in life, also more compassion for ourselves, others, life itself, right? Being more in touch with our soul, essentially, and anything that is soul guided makes it a great week for this. And we do have the support of Saturn, which can give us perhaps a bit of the discipline, patience, and perseverance to do these types of things as well. But anyways, most importantly is that Tuesday is the heightened energy of the lunar month. Good to do a status check, maybe make some shifts and adjustments, and continue that energy moving forward as we go through the rest of the week. So again, there is a lot of the water and healing energies all week. Mars, the planet of that assertion, is going to go over healing Chiron, what we would say is the modern ruler, or the planet that rules Ophiuchus. And in this case, Mars is specifically, again, our assertive side, our drives, our needs, things we want, matters of confidence, matters of identity, right? The ego in the sense of desires and things we're pursuing. So again, it's important to have that more receptive and channel those desires into more soul-fulfilling or spiritually fulfilling or peaceful things in our life, things that lead to peace. But Chiron can certainly help us with a new beginning here of perhaps feeling a bit healed with this side of ourself, that by being more receptive, more in tune to our soul, can be extremely healing and extremely therapeutic. So, of course, anything in that Piscean way we talked about can simply be healing, meditation, some rest, some sleep, things like that. But whatever it is, it's a new beginning to feeling more rejuvenated, more healed, more integrated with that side of ourself that is assertive and direct, but also in tune and in touch with their soul and the, what we might call the spiritual dimensions of life. So coming out of Wednesday, yes, likely the post healing, which can lead to that rejuvenation feeling that Chiron conjunctions can really bring. And that is starting a roughly 2.5 year new beginning cycle with that Mars next to conjunct Chiron there. All right, so that's also very important. That's going to be here around that full moon on Wednesday. Now, as we start to get into the Thursday time period, or even Wednesday actually, the moon will be shifting into Sagittarius, which is that, again, post-transformation kind of energy. So I would give it until, Thursday, but, pretty much after this full moon, we'll probably be feeling more of the free-spirited energies, right? Sagittarius coming after deep Ophiuchus is really the butterfly out of the cocoon, the post-transformation, the more free-spirited, the more adventurous, the more open-minded, right? All these energies that come out of the cocoon phase. So I would give it until Thursday, though, as we'll still be definitely within that full moon energy the day before and after the full moon. But anyways, yeah, especially Wednesday, feeling more of that post-transformation. But here we do have the exact contacts with those aspects with the full moon that I was talking about. So the sun will be squaring watery Neptune and trining responsible Saturn here. So especially the Thursday time, yes, very good to let go of what is outside of our control, be more present perhaps, more receptive to our soul, connected there. And again, the squares can be excellent times for building things. So it really is a great week for spiritual activities, personal development, health, anything also creative, maybe even just some, even though it's the higher energy of the cycle, things that, again, lead to more rest or more peace in our life that we can challenge ourselves to do. And just being mindful of the general energy of maybe wanting to escape in any capacity, which can sometimes be the case with that square to Neptune, or overdoing it, over under extremes with that watery energy. But with awareness, with intention, these squares are extremely constructive, and it's going to be extremely constructive for all things leading to more peace and spiritual well-being in our lives. And again, we do have the support with Saturn to help us do that, giving us perhaps some responsibility, some patience, some discipline, also concentrated around the Thursday time period in particular. But again, it is part of that full moon. Okay, so then, once we do get to the Friday time, the moon will be shifting into more responsible Capricorn. And so Friday and even the first part of Saturday, we could perhaps feel some themes around patience, discipline. It's a good time for anything that does require self-discipline, responsibility, perseverance as well. And there might be some things we can challenge ourselves with that on Saturday, because Venus will square Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, and who's also in Capricorn. And Venus does specifically deal more with our relationships and our values, such as resources and things like this. So just good to perhaps think long-term here, have a bit of patience with the things we enjoy, things we value, and those relationships. They do go through a little bit of a test. Saturn is a bit of a tester, just to test the integrity of these things. But again, it's to help us connect in a more grounded way, in a way that is more long-term, is more responsible, right? Really seeing the reality of things and working within that reality to have abundance with Venus and to have, great relationships with Venus as well. So great to challenge ourselves with those matters, but really anything, that does require that long-term view, it's good to challenge ourselves with, I would say, over the weekend, including Friday. All right, but Venus will be sextiling Neptune because of that relationship we've been talking about. So just a bit of an opening for perhaps some compassion, some receptivity in those interpersonal relationships, and maybe just a little bit easier to go with the flow and stuff, especially as we will be coming out of that more challenging energy to go with the flow earlier in the week, right? By weekend, we should be certainly feeling more receptive and more in tune to our soul there. All right, and then the weekends with late Saturday, but mostly Sunday with the moon in Aquarius. And so anything that is about our visions for the future and getting in touch more with maybe our friends or network circles, more of joining up with others with a similar vision, or doing things that can feel like we have camaraderie or community or things like that can be great, or just focused on the world and the future at large. Nothing major with that, but just a good theme to develop that. And then as we do get into early next week, we'll start to enter into the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which will be great for really integrating and implementing and challenging ourselves to implement that full moon energy and whatever shifts with our awareness here collectively around Tuesday. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Most important thing is that full moon. It is in healing Ophiuchus. It is very transformative. It is good it's yin energy, so it's good to be aware of it and accept and perhaps work with those deeper dimensions. As a result, it's likely helping us feel healed, especially once we get to the Thursday time after we've had that conjunction with the assertive healing, the Mars healing with Mars over Chiron. And then just all week, really that all the way up until the weekend, good for practicing healthy receptivity, healthy presence, channeling our focus into more soul-fulfilling and spiritual things. And then, over the weekend here, perhaps some of that responsibility, patience, and all that could be very constructive, especially in those values in those relationships. All right, everyone, so have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you are watching this on YouTube and not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube. There's a link down below to sign up. But again, have a great week. Thank you again for all of your support, and I'll see you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.